Imagine waking up to a Facebook message, only to find out it contains a link to your friend's wife's sex tapes with someone who isn't him. Now imagine that message was sent to everyone she knows, family, friends, even her boss. This isn't fiction. This is what real, savage revenge looks like when you've been pushed too far. If you've ever been betrayed, disrespected, or made to feel like you're losing your mind, this story will hit deep. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around, because this is one of the most ruthless revenge stories Ambry has ever buried, until now. This story happened back before smartphones tracked every step we took and cloud backups were the norm, back when secrets could still hide behind the desktop monitor, and betrayal traveled slower than fiber internet. My friend, we'll call him Bob, was the kind of guy everyone trusted. He was the first to show up when someone needed help with their router or PC, quiet, logical, loyal, painfully loyal. And maybe that was his downfall. Bob was married to a woman we all thought was decent, polite, smiled at BBQs, hosted wine nights. But behind closed doors, things weren't sitting right with Bob. See, months earlier, Bob had told me he was getting weird vibes about her closest friend, someone who had been caught cheating and then tried to drag Bob's wife into the mess to take the heat off herself. No proof, just drama. Things settled for a bit, but the doubt never left. Bob was no fool. He was an IT professional, brilliant with networks, security, and the kind of tricks most of us only see in spy movies. Then came the reunion. Her high school reunion, to be specific. A night out, a few drinks, lots of old flames reconnecting. When she came home after that trip, something had changed. Bob felt it in his bones. The way she started guarding her phone like it was classified. How she smiled a little too hard at her screen when she thought no one was looking. The sudden late nights at work. The same gut feeling that tells you something's off. He confided in me again. We talked through it. He even joked, maybe I should install a keylogger. I laughed, but his eyes didn't. He told me to forget the whole conversation and said, don't tell anyone, not even your wife. So I didn't. And then, months later, everything detonated. It was around 5:45 a.m. I was getting ready for work. Groggy, coffee brewing. I saw a notification pop up on Facebook Messenger, a message from Bob. But this wasn't a private message. It was a group chat, a big one. I'm talking dozens, maybe hundreds of names. People I knew, people I didn't, her family, his family, friends, coworkers, strangers. Attached was a link. At first, I thought it was a scam. Maybe Bob's account had been hacked. He was always so careful online. This had to be fake. A few minutes later, I got an email. Same link. But this time, there was no doubt. The tone was dark. There were some vicious comments. Again, it was a group email, and I could see all the recipients. Her boss, her mom, his friends, random coworkers, and me. My stomach dropped. I clicked. It was a hastily made website, clearly put together by someone who hadn't slept, but knew exactly what they wanted to say. It was a digital graveyard of screenshots, video captures, photos, chat logs, all with colorful, cutting captions, each one worse than the last. Bob had everything. There were videos of her pleasuring herself during video calls with her lover. There were sexts about how they couldn't wait to F again. There were close-ups, dirty talk, Snapchat saved, screenshots from Facebook messages where she was gassing up this guy's ego. But what killed Bob, what broke him into pieces, were her words.
She trashed him to her lover, mocked him, compared their bodies, told the guy how much bigger, better, more satisfying he was than Bob. She humiliated her husband to her side piece. She degraded Bob in a way no man or woman should ever have to hear.
I dropped everything and called Bob. He answered, drunk, slurring, furious, raging at the world, and especially at women. He told me he'd been up all night making the site, drinking, watching it all over again, obsessing, crying, screaming into the void. He sounded broken but dangerous. I begged him to take the website down, told him it would destroy careers, families, his kids. After some fighting, something clicked. Maybe he realized I was the only one still talking to him. Maybe he knew he went too far. He finally agreed to remove it. But then, I heard her. She stormed into the room, screaming at the top of her lungs. Apparently her mother or sister had seen the site first thing that morning, blew up her phone. She opened it, and all hell broke loose. The call dropped. I couldn't get him back.
The site stayed up for the entire day. And Bob, being the sick genius he is, put a view counter at the bottom of the homepage. Hundreds of people watched their own video, doing things no mother, daughter, wife, or employee should ever have exposed. Turns out, Bob had gone full tech sleuth. That offhand joke about a keylogger, he did it. He installed one that didn't just log keystrokes, it captured the entire screen. So every time she used the family computer, every time she logged into her social accounts or video chatted with her lover, Bob had it all. He even traced the guy, found his wife, his boss, his family. They all got the same message. I never found out what happened to her lover or his marriage, but I know what happened to Bob. His wife tried to fix it. She cried, begged, offered everything. But those words, those brutal, emasculating, soul-crushing words about his body, they haunted him. He tried. God, he tried. But he couldn't erase what she said, what he saw, what he knew. Eventually, he divorced her, gained weight, shut everyone out, moved across the country, and cut ties with nearly everyone, including me. The man who built a digital trap and detonated her world vanished. She thought she was slick. She thought she could sneak around, badmouth her husband, and live her double life in the dark. But Bob brought the floodlights. He made sure everyone saw the truth. Her betrayal, her filth, her lies. Not just whispered behind his back, but broadcast to every soul in her life. It wasn't just revenge, it was annihilation. Revenge like this doesn't just destroy your enemy, it often scorches the person holding the flame. Bob's story is one of justice, yes, but also tragedy. Sometimes the truth sets you free, but it can also leave you completely alone. If this story left you stunned, hit that like button and subscribe for more savage stories that prove karma